Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa. I apologize if you hear banging in the background. My dad is building a shed, so it's a lot of noise. I'm gonna try and time my talking around the banging, so hopefully it doesn't get too loud, but if you do hear it, I'm sorry. So this might be kind of an emotional video for me. Was not expecting to film an emotional video today. Was not even expecting to film this video today. I don't know. I tried filming this a couple times already and it was going to be something else, and then it kind of turned into now what this is now. And so now I'm like feeling pretty emotionally drained because I'm like realizing what I want to talk about and I'm like heavy. So hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa, like I said. This is going to be about books, but also about me, about my health, about how my health... Sorry if I look like I'm crying all of a sudden. I've been having sneezing problems. I think it's allergies. I'm not crying yet. Hopefully I don't actually cry. But this is just gonna be a, like, who am I? And how, basically about like how my health affects my reading. Which I think is important because this is all about books and reading. This is a reading book channel. And I know I have talked about it before in a few other videos of how I am chronically ill, or how I have a disability, and how like sometimes I have trouble making my videos. So I kind of was just like, you know what, I just need to sit down and explain once and for all just what it is, so then I can just point people back to this video instead of having to try and explain it, because I really hate having to talk about it. I don't have to talk about it in a lot of videos, I just do, and I feel like it gets kind of old and just be like every single video I'm like, oh ha, I'm sick, da da da. Like it can get kind of old. It's getting kind of old for me. Like it might not be for you, but it is for me for sure. Sorry if the hair is being funky today. I just washed it and I let it air dry, so it's kind of doing its own thing. Well, obviously I don't owe anyone an explanation. I don't owe anybody a answer or a explanation, I guess, like I said, about who I am and what I'm dealing with. I want to talk to you guys about it because it does, my illness, my disability does greatly affect my ability to read, my ability to film, and my ability to post videos. So if you look at me, guys, I'm gonna zoom out here, and like I'm in my pajama pants, but like I have when you look at me, I don't look disabled. I look able-bodied. I am for the most part fairly able-bodied. I do not have any visible disabilities when you look at me without like really studying me, which is weird. If you were a doctor, you could probably see there are some things. But I mean, like if you just saw me on the street walking by, you wouldn't see me and think, oh, that person has a disability. Which is a blessing and it's a curse at the same time, because a lot of times it means that you're not, when you know, I don't have to deal with what some disabled people have to deal with. The questions, the stares, the looks, the discrimination just by how you look. But I do have to deal with the fact that because I don't look sick, a lot of times people, including doctors, don't believe that I'm sick, don't believe I actually have issues, don't believe that I am, or can't understand why I'm unable to do certain things, or think that I'm just a hypochondriac, or I'm lazy, or I'm a flake, or I'm any of these things, because they can't see the problems that I have. And again, while I don't owe anyone an explanation, I know that. I want to talk to you guys about this. I want to explain this to you, not only for myself, but for you guys too, as viewers, so you can like get to know me a little bit better, get to know kind of maybe why I do certain things the way I do, or to, like maybe if I disappear again for a month, like oh, she's probably not having the best health day month. And also because I know there are quite a few of you out there, whether or not you're watching my channel or not, I have no idea. But I know that there are a lot of other booktubers, for one, that are chronically ill and that are disabled, both visibly and invisibly. But I'm sure there are a lot of viewers, people who are not on Booktube, people who are not on YouTube, people who are behind the scenes. Maybe you never comment, but you just watch videos, which that's totally fine, who deal with stuff like what I deal with and have my background's really bothering me. I'm sorry. Let me try and kind of like, I was trying to make it like at a cool angle, but I'm like, it's almost like too much of an angle to like, or not at the right angle to look cool. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better. Sorry about the baby gate. It's for the dog. Okay. But yeah, I feel like there are others out there like me who may have the same struggles. And one thing I've always said my whole life, like I got sick when I was 14, 15 years old. I'm 33 now. One thing I've always said is if I can help one person, like, Lord, if you're gonna give me this illness, if you're gonna give me this disability or these illnesses, if I can just help one person, to me, it's worth it. It's worth it. And as much as the crap that I have to deal with, if I can help someone else, because I've been helped by other people telling their stories. I've been helping people not even realizing it, not even necessarily sitting down and telling a story like this, but just in general. I've been so blessed by others and realize that I'm not alone. And sometimes that's all it takes, is just knowing you're not alone. Because sometimes you can feel, I'm sure, you know, in any aspect of life, people deal with this, but especially when you have chronic illness, mental illness, physical disability, whatever, you can feel very isolated. And especially when your condition makes it so it's hard to get out of the house. It's hard to connect with other people. For me personally, I'm unable to work right now. I can't go to school. It's difficult to socialize. So it can feel very, very isolating. And so just knowing you're not alone is such a huge thing. And so I really want to like stress that to you guys who are watching. If you have anything similar to me, just know you're not alone, and there is actually a big community here, which I think is amazing, of those of us who are ill and who are sick and who are disabled, who love books. And I think it's kind of a lot of disabled people, a lot of sick people read, because it's like, it's just something easy that we can do, you know? But I know that I have talked about it in videos before, and like I said, it's not like I'm ashamed. It's not like I'm hiding it. It's not like I'm whatever. I don't mind talking about it. I'm very open about what's going on with my health. I would like to start up again someday. I haven't posted anything in probably 2 years, but I actually have another channel where specifically it's dedicated to my life and my health journey. But like I said, it's been like 2 years since I've posted, if not more. Yeah. That's just for reasons. But if you guys want to watch it, it's linked in my description box below. Yeah, I'm hoping I will eventually get back to that, sharing more of my story. But this video is specifically about how my story relates to reading, how it relates to books, how it relates to me being able or not being able to do Booktube. So first off, this is going to be, okay, all my videos are long. We know this, you guys. But this might be upwards of an hour video, so I apologize. If I can figure out how to do it, and if I have the physical energy to do it, I will timestamp this video. But if it's not timestamped, I'm sorry. You know, there's only so much I can do. My main focus though is just to get this out and just to, plus I want to like explain, like again, I know I don't owe anyone an explanation, but I feel like I want to give you an explanation. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you probably heard me mention the fact that I'm sick, I'm chronically ill, I have this, I have that. And I really, it just not bothers me in the sense of that like, I feel like I have to talk about it, because I don't. Well, I mean, I guess in a way I do, because like if something happens, I feel like I have to explain it. Like, this is why, it's because of this. My disability also majorly affects my ability to read physical books. And so I feel like I kind of talk about that a little bit in some of my videos, but I really want a place that I can just point people and say, hey, if you're curious, check this video out. Because yeah, I don't want to I don't want to keep being like, feel like a broken record. Like every video, I'm like, I'm chronically ill, I'm disabled, I'm da da da. Because then to me, it almost feels like I'm trying to like push it in people's faces and be like, look at me. So it's like, no, not at all. Or like gain sympathy or something. Like, no, that's not at all what I'm trying to do. Like, no, not at all. I don't want people thinking that, because but I don't know. I feel like I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry. I'm trying. Like I said, I've tried to film this video a few times already. So I'm like trying to remember, like, did I say that in this one or the other one? And da, da, da. So if I repeat myself, well, hopefully in editing, I'll be able to cut it out. But in case I don't catch it, I apologize. Let's just get into my health. Let's just start with my health and then we'll go from there. So I'm 33 years old. Like I said, I'm going to be 34 in October. I almost said December. No, October. My birthday is in October. It's been in October for the past 33 years. Okay, I'm gonna be 34 on October 27th of this year, which to me is just like, I'm in my mid-30s. How is that even? I thought I would be like way more, like feel like a grown up by this point. Do you ever, when do you feel like a grown up? Like, realistically, I feel like I'm still, like, not a kid, but like, I don't know. It's a weird, plus the fact that I still live at home, I think probably doesn't help anything. It's a weird, like, place to be in my own mind. But yeah, I'm 33. I'm trying to decide, like, okay, because like, there have been some things that I was born with that have affected me my whole life, but they don't really affect my reading. Let's just say that I have my main physical disability that I have, which again, you can't really see, but I have flat feet. And I understand that most people are going to be kind of like, why is that a big deal? Flat feet, so what? But mine were so bad that I had to have reconstructive surgery on my left foot when I was 10 years old, because it got to the point where I needed a wheelchair because I could not walk, because I was in so much pain all of the time. So I've had that. Okay, I'm just going to like kind of go through really quickly my conditions that don't affect my reading, just to get it out there, and then go to that because they might come up from other things. So there's that. I had a surgery when I was 10 for that. It's caused me a whole buttload of issues over the years. Anyways, moving on for that, I also have endometriosis. Severely, I've had 5 surgeries, I think, for endometriosis. Like between the ages of like 16 and 27, I had 5 laparoscopic surgeries on my stomach for endometriosis. I have a whole host of other things. Yeah, that realistically does not affect the reading. So, but yeah, I've had multiple surgeries. Anyways, that doesn't matter. Okay, moving on. So, when I was about 14 years old, about 14 going on 15, I started getting sick. And I'm going to try and condense this as much as possible, you guys, because if you guys have seen my videos, you know I talk a lot. I'm going to try and keep it to the relevant points. So I started getting really sick, and I was a huge reader when I was younger. I would plow through books. Like, I would go to the bookstore, I'd buy a book, I'd come home, and I'd read it the same day. And very rarely did I have a book that would take me more than like a day or two to read. Unless it was like at school and I was reading it like during my lunch break or something. But, I would just read and read and read and read and read. I was all over reading. And I had a lot of other hobbies and other things too that not really relevant. So I started getting sick. I started feeling really tired. I started losing my love of everything. I lost motivation to do anything. I dropped out of school. Not like, I don't want to go to school, drop out of school, but like I was so sick that I missed so much school that I had to drop out because I just would miss, I mean, literal months at a time that I would not go to school because I was too sick. Anyways, if you want to know more about that, I can do a different video on my other channel specifically about my story. But anyways, it's relevant though because, like I said, I used to read all the time. And it got to the point where I wasn't reading. I had no desire to read. And even when I did have a desire to read, I couldn't read. Like, for whatever reason, I just was not able to comprehend. And another reason why this is relevant is because when I was young, I was in TAG program. I don't know if TAG still exists, if any of you ever had that in your school. It was talented and gifted, specifically for kids in reading and math. I was extremely advanced in my reading, extremely advanced in my reading comprehension. I actually was really excited when I got to college to take comprehensive reading classes because it was just something I loved to do. And it got to the point where I just couldn't do that anymore. I started failing my reading classes, well, my English classes. And I'm like, that's not like me at all. You know, not at all. And so when I was about 17, again, there's a whole other story there, but I'm trying to condense. When I was about 17 years old, I got diagnosed with Lyme disease. And it was something that to this day is probably the biggest factor in my disability, or the biggest factor as to why I am disabled, is because of the Lyme disease. So one of the things that does to me, it's different for everyone, but I think a lot of Lyme patients have this condition where it causes severe brain fog. And I'll go in more into that in a minute. So I started treatment for that, whatever. But pretty much from the age of 14 until now, it has been non-stop health problems, whether that be physical, whether that be mental, because I do have clinical depression. I have both clinical depression and I have seasonal depression disorder. So like, yay, that's real fun. I also have thyroid problems. This is something I was born with, this I've had forever, but I've always had low thyroid, and probably about 8 or 9 years ago now, or more like, no, it would have been 7 or 8 years ago, I developed an autoimmune disorder connected to my thyroid, which is called Hashimoto's thyroiditis or something, Hashimoto's disease. That also is similar in the Lyme disease, that messes with my head. So, and then about 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. So while chronic fatigue syndrome in and with itself can be its own thing, like you can have no other symptoms and just have that, the conditions that I have, the Lyme disease, the Hashimoto's, some other things that I deal with, a lot of the symptoms are fatigue. And so it's hard to know whether or not I have chronic fatigue syndrome on its own, or if it's because of these other things that I am chronically fatigued. It's hard to say. But that I can say, hands down, at least at this point in my life, the past few years of my life, has been the most disruptive thing in my entire life. The fatigue has been the reason over anything else why I haven't been able to go to school, why I haven't been able to work, why I haven't been able to socialize, why I haven't done well at Booktube, or not that I've done well, but like haven't posted a bunch of videos, is the fatigue. And the thing that's so frustrating about it is it's not just a physical fatigue. And the thing is too, that people, let me backtrack a little bit and explain. So, okay, like I said, I have Lyme disease, I have Hashimoto's disease, I have chronic fatigue syndrome. Obviously that means I'm tired all the time. But what people don't understand, what people don't understand is that it's not just a physical tiredness, it's mental. And for me, that's the worst. It's the mental fatigue. And when I say fatigue, I'm not talking like, oh, I'm a little bit tired, or like, oh, I didn't get enough sleep last night. It's like, think of what they say, like new parents, you know, when they're just walking zombies because they're up, they can't get any sleep because their babies are crying. Or think of like if you've pulled an all-nighter, or like 2 or 3 in a row, and you're just exhausted, or you've been sick with the flu and you can barely get out of bed. That kind of tired, that kind of fogginess in your head. But the thing about chronic fatigue that's different than just being tired, sleep doesn't help. I can sleep 2 hours, I can sleep 18 hours, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. And that's what's so frustrating about this disease. Sorry guys, I'm trying to keep on point. That's something else with the mental stuff. It's sometimes it can be very difficult for me to remember. Sometimes I wonder if I have short-term memory loss, to be honest, because it's bad. Sometimes it gets really bad. My memory can be very bad. I repeat myself a lot. The way I talk, like I do have a speech impediment, which I'm sure you guys can hear. It's very slight. I had speech therapy when I was a kid. It's nothing major, but there are a lot of times where I will be talking and all of a sudden I'm like, what was I just saying? I have no idea what I was just saying. Or I meant to say the chair and I say the fork. Why do I say the fork? But it has nothing to do with the chair? I don't know. My brain just says stuff sometimes. And so, yeah, I think I got a little off track. Let me go back to kind of explaining the fatigue thing. So it is, like I said, it's where you're so tired that like sleep doesn't help. I can't just, take a weekend and rest up and feel better. And sometimes it does, but it's not, it's like kind of categorized by like not being helped by sleep. And that's frustrating because it's like, what do you do? But yeah, like when going back a little bit when I was in school, the reading comprehension thing, why that is relevant is because I now have a very difficult time comprehending what I'm reading. A very difficult time. And so it's hard, especially when I want to have a YouTube channel all about reading, when I have trouble comprehending what I'm reading. I'm trying to think if like there was other points that I needed to put in here. Let me see. Okay, so let me again backtrack a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm trying to stay as linear as possible here in my thought process. Let's talk about, let's continue talking about the fatigue thing. Yeah, the fatigue, it makes me tired, it makes my brain tired. What that means is I get brain fog, I get memory loss, I have trouble speaking, sometimes I have trouble remembering words, trouble comprehending things. So like I said, memory, brain fog, it's bad. And some days it's so bad that like I have trouble speaking. Other days you would talk to me and not realize there's anything wrong with me. That's another thing that makes it hard, is because it fluctuates so much that people will be like, well, you were just fine yesterday. Why can't you do it today? And so it seems like I'm faking or I'm lying or I'm whatever. And that's very difficult to deal with. And I'm sure, and I know for a fact that there are others of you out there who know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, it can be very, very frustrating. So yeah, I mean, and dealing with that, my more than half my life at this point, I've dealt with this kind of stuff. And it greatly affects my ability to function as a normal human being, let alone read and do videos. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions about anything health related, I'm going to try and move on from that now of explaining. Hopefully I explained enough. I probably over-explained, but again, I can never remember like how much I've talked about something, and so just forgive me, please. Please hang in there with me. Like I said, this is gonna be like a super long video. It's probably gonna be over an hour long. It just is. And if you don't want to watch it, or if you want to quit now, whatever, that's fine. It's not gonna hurt my feelings, I promise. So yeah, if you have any questions or want to know any more about my specific conditions, how they specifically affect me, diagnoses, like maybe you're wondering, do I have that? Like totally, you can message me on Instagram, you can comment on this video, you can whatever, I don't care. Send me an email, my email, everything is linked below. Yeah, so I'm going to try and move on now and explain exactly how this relates to books and YouTube. Okay. So because of the brain issues, I've never been diagnosed with this, but knowing what I know about psychology and knowing what I know, because when you're chronically ill, you do a lot of your own research. And, a lot of times doctors will be like, look at that and be like, oh, you got it off WebMD or whatever. It's like, no, actually, like, I study this. This is my life. Like, you may have studied this one disease for like 10 minutes in your class, in your textbook. I live with it, okay? So like, yeah. Anyways. So as I mentioned before, reading comprehension was my strong suit. I was reading college. I was reading and comprehending junior and senior level books. Sorry if it looks like I swear, my allergies. Junior and senior level books when I was like in 5th and 6th grade. I was testing at a junior and senior high school level when I was in 5th grade. And so obviously that's like cool, right? And that was something I was very proud of, was my ability to comprehend my reading material. And then, like I said, as I kind of went through that stage where I had literally no desire to read, which was not like me at all, because I always was a reader. Always, my whole life I've been a reader, except for, a time span when I was really, really sick, and then not being able to comprehend, like when I tried to go to college. There's a whole thing about that, but I did take a few college classes, but again, I had to drop out because my health just couldn't allow it. And I took a reading comprehension class, and I'll never forget, it was like the very first thing we talked about in class. I was so lost and I was so frustrated. I remember sitting out at the table and having my textbook open and reading it, and just being like, the second I read it, it was gone. Like, I was like, what did I just read? And I'd read the same thing over and over and over and over, and it would not stick in my brain. It would not stick in my brain. And I'm just like, what is happening to me? Why can't I understand this? Like, it's not even that difficult of an assignment. Like, it was like the beginning, and it was reading comprehension, like critical thinking, but it was like the base level class. It wasn't the advanced class. And it was the first assignment. So it should have been for what I was capable of in the past. It should have been not necessarily a breeze, but very doable for me. And it wasn't. Not at all. I couldn't, for the life of me, understand this text. And that's when I really realized, like, wow, there's something really going on here. I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, guys. I'm sorry. But I was talking about how my knowledge of psychology and all that. Okay, that's what... See, I go on rabbit trails, too. I know normal people... I say normal, you guys. If I ever say normal, I don't mean normal. Because that can be such a derogatory thing for people with illness or disability. I mean your average, able-bodied, able-minded person, okay? That's what I mean when I say normal. Okay, so I do believe that I have some sort of cognitive impairment. I have not been diagnosed. I would actually really like to seek diagnosis. That's something that I think I'm going to really try and seek out, because I want to know for sure if this is an actual, like, diagnosable thing, or if it's just side effects of my Lyme disease or whatever. Like, because I want to be able to figure out the best way to treat it. And so I went from being able to look at a text, read it, comprehend it, understand it, no problems, to now I still struggle with that very much. And I actually have switched over to listening to audiobooks almost exclusively. Sorry, guys, my dog was having a hissy fit. I don't know if you could hear that in the background. He was in the other room barking at the neighbor for some reason. Okay, yeah, I had to deal with my dog, so sorry if I'm a little off track or unfocused at what I was talking about. I was talking about the comprehension thing. So yeah, I don't know if I have a cognitive disorder. I think I do. Like I said, knowing what I know, because I did take some psychology classes. I'm not an expert, obviously, but you kind of get to know things when you're sick, or when you're disabled. You kind of learn about things because you want answers, and a lot of times, unfortunately, doctors don't have them, so you gotta seek them out for yourself. Again, whether or not this is something that's actually like a diagnosable thing, or if it's just like you just have these issues because of the Lyme disease, because of the depression, because of the chronic fatigue, that kind of stuff, it's hard to say. But I do know that I have trouble comprehending things. And so, like I was kind of saying with the audiobook thing, is if you watch my videos, you will see that majority, even though I have so many physical books, majority of what I read is audible books, or not audible, audio books. And that is because, for whatever reason, the way my brain works right now is when I'm listening to something, I can retain that information. I can comprehend that information. If I'm physically reading something, 95% of the time, I cannot retain, comprehend the information. Sometimes I can, but when I went from being able to read a book in a day to now it takes me over a week to physically read a book, because I have to take my time, I have to go slow, I have to really pay attention to what I'm doing. I also was used to be able to, come on, go over there with it, read in any environment, any distractions. Nothing could distract me. If I was reading a book, I was in my book. Now, if there's any sort of noise going on externally, especially if I'm not listening to my audiobook but just reading, I can't focus, I can't comprehend it, and it can be very, very frustrating because it means there are a lot of places now that I don't read. I used to be able to like hang out with my family and they'd be watching TV and I could read my book and we'd be hanging out together, or listening to music and reading a book, or whatever, you know, and now I can't. And so, okay, how does that relate to YouTube? Because, you know, you might be thinking, okay, yeah, that's all good, whatever, but why does that matter? So, because of the fact that I have this fatigue problem, right? I have a really hard time editing my videos. Filming, I can do pretty well with. I have quite a bit of stock footage, like videos that I've filmed that are ready to go up, but it does include a lot of editing because of the start and stop, the repeating myself, the ums and so's, and so yeah, I say that all the time. And then you also have the distractions of, you know, I have a puppy, I live with my dad, life, just life. It's not always easy for me to sit and film. A lot of times I end up filming later at night instead of during the day, which I'd like to. So I know that the lighting sometimes can be a little blown out. So I'm still working on. But again, the fatigue, and it's not the physical with this, it's the mental. Because I'm so tired that all I can do, like I can watch YouTube or I can listen to an audiobook, but it's kind of mindless stuff, right? Like I'm not really having to like think about it. It's just something I can kind of just do. But if I have to sit down and think and really hash out the editing system and do these things, it takes a while and it takes a lot of energy and a lot of effort, even though I don't do very much fancy stuff with my editing. It's still, and then like I said, there's a lot of things that I cut out. Like I'll end up filming an hour and a half video and I only put 20 minutes of it online. Okay, it's more like half an hour of it, because, you know, then I talk too much. But I cut out so much stuff because I'm like, oh, I don't need that in there, or I repeated myself, or again, there's a lot of stuttering, or not stuttering per se, but stop, start. What am I saying? What am I thinking? What was I talking about? What was I going to say? Oh, I forgot to grab this thing, or I forgot to do that. Oh, you know, all of that kind of stuff. It happens so often. And so it's very hard for me to just sit and edit. And like I said, listening to audiobooks. So I am forever thankful to the Lord that I can listen to audiobooks and that I'm able to consume my reading that way, because I have maybe read 3 physical books this year, like actually physically read them without audio, like at all this year, which is insane. I've read over 60 books this year, but again, they're almost always on Audible, or not Audible, but like they're audio books. Because for whatever reason, that's just how my brain is able to comprehend things right now. And that doesn't really affect, I guess, this much. It does affect my ability to read off my shelves, though, because not all the books that I own have audiobooks. And I get my audiobooks from either Scribd or from the library. And a lot of times the books that I want, either the hold is like 3 months long, or they don't have audiobooks for them or whatever. You know, I can't afford Audible. I can't afford some of those other more expensive things. And so it can be difficult in that sense of like, if there's all these books I want to read, but I can't access them because I need them on audiobooks. Even though I have a whole stack, like 3-4 bookshelves full of books that I have trouble reading. Yeah, that can be really frustrating. And then that also adds to the editing, because a lot of times if I'm talking about a specific book, I don't have it physically with me because I listen to it on audiobook. And so then I have to put the picture in and do the thing. And that just, all this stuff just adds up and adds up and adds up. And every little thing takes energy. And when you are someone like me who is sick and who has a chronic illness or chronic fatigue, whatever, every drop or ounce of energy is precious. And sometimes I just truly cannot put energy into making videos. It has to go to taking care of myself. And that can be hard because I want to be successful on this platform. I want to connect with people. I want to make friends. I want to do fun things. And I've been able to a little bit these past few months, and I'm very, very grateful for that. But it's just, it's so hard. And then we'll have like, I need to film like at least 3 months, like July's, June's wrap up. I don't have those up yet. I'll have like these TBR videos and I never post a wrap up to it, or I never talk about those books again. And I'm sure people might be like, well, what the heck? That can get frustrating. I want to know what you thought. And I'm like, oh, it's like 5 months later and I still don't have anything about it. Just because I feel like sometimes I get really behind and I'm like, oh gosh, like I'll film it or then I have to edit it. Yeah, it's this whole thing, you guys, this whole thing. So I feel like I'm kind of starting to go off track a little bit here. So I was trying to talk about like, how does this relate to my channel and stuff? Again, this is gonna be a heck of a video to edit. Oh my gosh. So yeah, the audiobook thing, that just, like I said, really the only way that affects it is just I don't have the physical book and then I have to put the picture, and that can kind of be a bit of a pain in the butt sometimes. But then, yeah, as far as like how my health actually affects my ability to be a booktuber, is there are times when even with audiobooks, that I just can't read and I'm just too tired, my brain's too foggy, I just want something mindless, like I'll just watch YouTube videos. My go-to right now is like people playing video games. I don't know what it is about it. I just like, it's just mindless enough that I can kind of have it growing on in the background. It's just something going on that I don't have to like use my brain. Whereas even listening to an audiobook, you still use your brain a little bit because you're like, you know, listening and comprehending what they're saying or understanding it. Yeah, so that can get kind of hard. And then it's like, well, I haven't read anything in 2 weeks. What am I going to post about? What am I going to do if I haven't read anything? And then when it comes down, I know I kind of touched on this a little bit, but when it comes down to the actual editing of the videos, it just takes so much energy to sit in it. I don't know what it is. I can film videos all day long and talk all day long, but the second it comes to editing, I'm drained and I'm like, oh, it's such a chore. And I don't know why that is. I'm trying to kind of work it more so like I'm working more at a desk instead of laying in bed or on the couch, and that has really been helping me to be more focused and have the energy to like sit and work. But sometimes when you're sick, you know, you really don't want to sit up at a desk. It just is what it is. So I kind of had an idea where I was going with this, and I think I've totally lost it. So I'm sorry, you guys. But the main thing is just like I kind of wanted to explain my story and how like maybe why the fact that I listen to audiobooks all the time instead of physically reading, why I'm always saying like, oh, listen to it on audiobook. Why the fact that I sometimes will go a month or two without posting a video, and all of a sudden have a whole bunch and then none again for a while. I'm trying to kind of like figure out a schedule too that I can pre-film so I can just have videos up so that doesn't happen. But you know, it stinks because like I said, I really want to be successful with this channel. I want to be successful with Booktube, with my reading, with connecting with you all, with growing a community, with posting videos. But when you have limitations that make it so it's difficult to edit, and then I don't want to just film a video and throw it up there without editing it, because you guys, if you think the edited version of my video is a mess, oh man, you don't want to know. I sounded very Canadian there. Oh man. Or Midwestern. Anyways, I guess it's just a little bit about me, about who I am, about maybe why my videos are the way they are, why my channel is the way it is. I'm going to try and not keep bringing up the fact that I'm sick in a lot of my videos. Again, it's hard, because I'm like, oh, sorry, I've been gone for so long, it's because of this reason. And then I feel like I'm making excuses, and I feel like people are gonna get annoyed with that, and I don't know, maybe that's just my own self-doubt talking, but I don't know. So yeah, guys, try to think if there's anything else I wanted to say. I don't know, I guess it just explains me, explains who I am, explains why, like I said, sometimes you will see me disappear for a while. If you really want to stay connected with me, go check out my Instagram, seriously, because I post there. I try to post there more often. If not daily, then like at least weekly. And if I have any updates or anything, I'll post it over there. I don't have a community tab yet, so it's hard. So I'm like, I want to like post to say like when I was in Nebraska, I made just a little quick video because I wanted to say like, hey guys, like I'm in Nebraska, I'm traveling, I can't post anything right now. Which I can post on my Instagram, but if you don't follow me there, it's hard for you to know. And you're like, oh, she's gone again, like, whatever. I don't know. Also, I kind of want to talk about this a little bit. And there's no science behind this at all, guys. This is just me trying something. I'm trying to retrain myself how to read. Right? I think I might actually do a separate video specifically on this. What I mean by that is I've been getting my audiobooks and I've been reading along with them. And that has really helped me because, like I said, it's hard for me to comprehend when I'm physically reading something, but if I'm listening to it, I'm able to comprehend it. And so I've been doing this experiment with myself where I read along physically with the audio. And I don't know if that's helped or yet or not. I don't know if it has helped me yet or not. See, there's an example of my weird talk stuff. Well, that one wasn't even that bad. But I'm gonna see, and I guess the main thing, you guys, is please be patient with me. I mean, so far, you guys have all been great. Everyone in the comment section has been super nice. I've been getting a lot more subscribers lately, which seriously, thank you so much. Like, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, because I am not, I know I'm not best at this. I don't post very often. I feel like I don't have, like, super cool editing. I know I've been, especially, like, in this video, I'm not the most energetic person. Like I said, I'm emotionally drained right now. Talking about all this is emotionally draining. But even on my good days, I feel like I'm not like a super bubbly person. That's just not who I am. And so sometimes I feel like that can come across as not very good on video. I don't know. I watch people that aren't super bubbly and I love their videos. So maybe maybe this is just the depression, self-doubt thing talking here. Very well could be. But that's another thing that I struggle with, you know? And I want to be real honest about that. Like I do. I really struggle with self-doubt a lot. Which is also a factor in my ability to edit and post videos, because I doubt myself. And I'm really trying to work on that. I'm trying to get over that. But yeah, just be patient with me if you would, you guys. Understand that I know as frustrating as it can be, there are just going to be times that I'm not able to do certain things, or where I do disappear for a while, or whatever, you know, and I'm working on it. I'm trying to work on it. I'm started today I am taking steps towards self-care. I literally just started doing this today, where I'm trying to be more proactive in my health and in taking care of, like, I've always, like, you know, done the basics, like taking meds and do the things, but I want to be more proactive in my self-care and just like even with like my mental health self-care kind of stuff. So I'm working on it. By God's grace, I will be able to continue doing this, continue making videos for you, continue putting content out, and hopefully growing my community and connecting better with you guys. And I know I've already connected with a few people here, and I'm so grateful for you guys. I don't have a whole lot of friends outside of, I don't have a lot of friends, period, let alone outside of like Booktube. So I'm very, very thankful for those of you who are here, who have stuck around, who are at the end of this video, because I know this is a really long video. If you've made it to the end, drop a purple heart emoji down below in the comments. Let me know you were here, even if you don't have anything to say. Just know that I am doing my best, but my mental and physical health needs to come first before anything else. And if that means that Booktube is put on the back burner, that means Booktube is put on the back burner. I really hope not, because I feel like this is helping at least my mental health to do these videos. But, you know, I don't know what the future holds for me, and I can't say other than I'm going to do my best, you guys. I'm going to try. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me, or a lot bit about me, I guess. Hopefully you guys, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, are going to be understanding, but you know, it's hard to put yourself out there. And I do want to say again, if any of you are dealing with anything at all, or just want to know more, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. I really, really would love to talk to you. And if I can help, great. And maybe if you can help me, that'd be great too. So yeah, that's just kind of an explanation of me and what's going on with me and why my channel is the way it is, why, I don't know. I feel like I was kind of like really on point in the beginning of this video, and like halfway through I got distracted by my dog, and then I was like, oh, I don't know where I'm going with this. Hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully you guys can kind of get the gist of what I'm trying to get across. It's just like, it's just hard. It's hard, but I'm trying, and doing my best. So hanging in there, you know? All right, well, the dog's getting a little antsy, guys, so I am going to go. And plus, it's already been 54 minutes. I know I haven't been talking that whole time, but still, this is gonna be a long video. So I'm gonna go, you guys, and thank you so much for watching, for taking the time to kind of hear me out, hear my story, get to know me a little bit. And I guess that's all I needed to say, all I want to say. So if you have any questions, any whatever, comments, I mean, obviously be nice. I don't think, you know, you all are great, so I'm not worried about that. But questions, concern, comments, anything. Again, if you have an Instagram, please go check my Instagram out. Follow me over there, because that is where you will get the most up-to-date information about me and what's going on, what I'm reading, what I'm doing, whether or not my channel is gonna go anywhere. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye.